Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the South African Academy Online Racing. Yeah, Season 7, race number 7. 3 races to go, and I tell you what an event it's going to be. We're in Singapore this week. It is the 9th of the 3rd month, 2020, and I can tell you now, it's going to be an absolute stinger here. Driving underneath the lights, I can tell you now, all is ready to go. Obviously, if you have been watching the weather, it seems as though there's rain in Singapore this evening, according to the weather reports. Our weatherman on the ground, F1 Ronnie, letting us know that that's all happening. And obviously the request to have rain. I don't think that would be supported by the other drivers, but who knows? It could be a fact or an element that we see this evening on the South African Academy Online Racing. So just pitching up, lots of people wanting to know, can they go? I think it's all go, so the guys can actually start readying up. We are a little bit slow this evening. And obviously people wanting to know where they can be. We're just having a look now, some of the horses coming up, just having a look and scrolling through. I'm sure it's going to be a big one. I'm going to be putting on some headphones in a couple of seconds, and it's going to be all about racing is the mainstream of this evening's event. So let's have a look. I'm just looking at the WhatsApps coming through. Some of the guys running a little bit late. Sorry for the delay in the broadcast this evening. We had a bit of a technical issue, and that technical issue was due to me. I had not updated the F119, so that is now updated and we're ready to go. So as I said, we've just got the individuals lining themselves up, and I'll be back on with you in a couple of minutes. We're just seeing the guys tick in the boxes, making sure everybody's available, and then we'll start this evening's event. So yeah, it's all going to be around a couple of things. We're doing Singapore this evening. We've got a short quali, which is about 18 minutes, and then we're going on to a 50% race format, and then from there we will see who is the champion of Season 7 in Singapore this evening. Tight and technical track. No doubt if you are an F1 fan, this is one of the events that is greatly appreciated, and we need to see what's going on. So let's sit back, relax, and see what's going on. Yeah, so we're ready, set, and off to go. Obviously, yeah, we've given enough time. It's 21 minutes past the hour of 8 p.m. So it is a night race this evening. 23 corners to negotiate on this track. And wow, what a way to go. Street track it is. So obviously lots of tight corners and narrow ways. Not much passing unless you get around. So we'll have a look at this evening's racing. 12 races, should I say 12 drivers up for this evening's racing. So we're going to be checking it out, making sure all things are good and ready to go. Official times are expected. We've got a couple of guys joining. We've got round about 17 minutes of the qualification round left. There's one quali session. We call it the short quali if you're not familiar with what's going on. And that is going to be taking care of business of who's going to be on the podium this evening. And I think all deservedly, the individuals driving this evening will be able to manage that. Gav Pig, lovely to have you back. I know you were off for a little while. Good to see you on board with us this evening. Just having a look at who is out on track this evening. There we go. There's Carter Boy 55. He's on track at the moment. We also have Carter Boy 45 also on track this evening. Just having a look. The guys all the way from, I think they're in PE or East London. So welcome guys, brothers. And obviously they do take part in motor racing as we speak. And if you're down in that area, why don't you go and support the Carter Boys 45 and 55. Then we've got our Natal individual. He's up at the moment. Jose, he's in the pits at the moment doing their Ranger's out. He's in the Mercedes-Benz. Yep, he's out there giving it all he can. And obviously he is in the colors of the Singapore Petroleum Company. And that's what is on the car. So obviously they're pretty happy to see them there because that's where the company is based. And I tell you what, not Kimmy. 7 also out there. You can see just in front of him Jose's come out, so that's an interesting one. Springbok Gamer still in the pits at the moment. Here is Raptor 13, old Raymond. Nice to have you on this evening. Great to have you back, Foss. And hopefully Raymond's going to be showing what he can do in the Ferrari this evening. Hard practicing is Leaf and Royan this evening out in the Haas. And as you can see, joined by Gav Pig in the other Mercedes-Benz. A little bit wide there. He's got to watch himself on the curbs. A little bit of a scare. You can see the tires are still brand new. He's on the softs at the moment. So let's get some telematics up and going for us this evening. Maybe that might give us an indication on who's actually on board this evening. There we go. Let's go down there. We're in the Mercedes-Benz M AGM. And just give you some details on what's fitted. You've got to be careful this evening. Yeah, that seems as though he's almost wrecked that. But he's on the softs. There's a couple of guys on the mediums. And we've got F1 Ronnie. He's sitting on the hards. I'm actually pretty surprised to see that. Maybe just flash out and see where we are along the lines here. You can see here we're on board with Leaf and Royan at the moment. So a little bit of contention going on between some of the top drivers. Because when I say contention, I mean they are contending for the championship still. One of our drivers is going to be late, so he'll be in hopefully a little bit later. Springbok Gamer seems to be in the pits. He's got the mediums put on there. There's not Kimmy 7, and always get to see Wazzy on the track. It's based in Gauteng, so that's a good thing there. And then Ranger, once again just mentioning him as well. So I've gone through pretty much the lineup this evening. Obviously what we will be doing, I didn't go through Nesmax, sorry Nesmax. He's on the mediums. I think the medium start for him this evening will be his strategy. And let's just have a look what's going on. Yeah, sorry about that. Just took a phone call, but that was all good. So Nesmax comes in with a 138.984 on those mediums. So lots of talent on the track this evening, driving with those softs, those super softs. I'm pretty much wanting to see. We haven't really seen the hyper softs come out this season. Which obviously are the tyre allocation are given to certain tracks, and obviously those tyres are permitted during the race. Obviously 2 sets given in after each quali session, and normally the tyres that you qualify on are the tyres that you start the race on, the tyres that you give the best timing. So Ranger coming in at 139, Not Kimmy 7, 139. And then we start to drop in or go up into the 140s, and then the 141s, 144 and 144. But I'm sure, to be honest, that is going to change somewhat once the guys are out on the track. So let's have a look and see what's going on. And just to have a look now at some of the areas. And maybe just give you a talk through on the track itself so you know where those areas are. And let's start off, let's go with Carter Boy 55. Obviously what I'll be able to do is just give you a little bit of an understanding of where they are on the track. And basically, as you can see, Carter Boy coming into turn number 4, which is actually down Republic Boulevard, and then into Raffles Boulevard right towards the end. And you see it's turn number 5 here. This is into Raffles. And then we're going to go sort of straight up into number 6 and number 7. And this is Nicole Highway. And then basically straight down onto Stamford Road. And then down into St. Andrews Road, which is sort of just around this corner right about here. And then flat out down into corner number 10, which is obviously coming up roundabout now. Then little one into Pink 11, then into Anderson Bridge, which we should be seeing in a couple of seconds now. And then obviously straight down, you've got there's Anderson's Bridge, and then you're going straight across into a right-hander, number 14, and then here we go, long through here, and then through start and finish, number 23. So that in all, 23 corners on this track here in Singapore. And technical difficulty probably around about an 8.5 on the savvy scale. And then obviously what you got to understand is lots of hand movements happening on the steering wheels as well, because they're going up from 7th right down into like 3rd and 2nd gear on this corner, straight up to 5th gear, then down into 2nd, 1st actually, then coming through. You can see the dial on the driver's hands at the moment as he's going through. The same element is happening probably at home, where they are now gearing down a little bit wide there. I know Carter Boy 45 has got a Thrustmaster, so yeah, that's pretty much getting it to where it should be. Going back now, one of the McLarens out there, Ronnie, he's on there. Boucher's also out there, that's his partner. Fuel seems to be a little bit down there. Raptor coming through, and he's going to be looking at that 144 and hoping to change that number somewhat. Just to let you know, looking right at the top here, this gentleman's just made an impression. I know he's coming back into the pits, but Leaf and Royan's just put on a 138.375. 138.375. Reynolds in, which is Jose, he's put on a 138.502. So great lap time from him. Nesmax has dropped down into 3rd position on the grid at the moment at 138.984. And then Ranger out there at the moment. He's out on that 139. So they are starting to drop below the 140s. And that's where we want them to be. They should be around the 138, 137 mark if they're really quick. But that depends on fuel load. Remember, this is quali. So quali sessions, the ECU is pumped up to giving maximum. Fuel is as light as possible. And then obviously, depending on their tire selection, they want to get the right tires for the start of the race. I see a lot of the guys going for the mediums anyway, because they want to make sure DRS is activated as well, so they do have the opportunity. They will be using obviously the electrical motion devices, just to also get those hybrid engines moving as well, and generating power to obviously support that drive coming through for the quali sessions. You can see 45%, and he's already got it on level 5, so he's really putting on the power in that electric motor to drive them up as well. So it looks as though Nesmax has decided to just switch off the machine and the car. He's not coming out again. Obviously he's happy with that time, which is quite interesting. I think he's quite happy to go into 3rd. There's that Reynolds, that's Carter Boy 55. He's still got some time to catch up there, I'm sure, but he's a little bit quicker than his brother, which is Carter Boy 45 this evening. So in the Reynolds, doing quite nicely at the moment. Raptor down into 9th position. I'm sure he's going to be wanting to come back in a big way. And then you've got most of the individuals out there looking for a combination. I think Gav Pigs just put on a, there we go, he just has. He's put on a 140 and pumps himself up to 6th position. Nice effort from him. Obviously difficult driving. Remember, the individuals have got no assists on, and obviously corner cutting is at strict control at the moment. So the marshals are watching out for that. These guys cannot take any shortcuts. They will not. They will be penalized. So maybe what to do. I tell you what, let's put some data up there so you can see that, and maybe just put on the track simulator, the mini track simulator, so you can see exactly what is going on. And let me put that off there so you can see where they are. Nice view from the car there as well. There is the track. And then obviously I'm just on with Carter Boy 45 at the moment. You can see on the left hand side of the screen, giving you the ultimate view of what's happening down here this evening at Singapore. So let me just have a look at where we are. Great driving happening from these boys this evening, and why not? Also, the mini-map just gives us a good indication where the drivers are, and you can see the Ferrari just in front of him there. There is the Ferrari, and just in front of him is obviously the McLaren, and that is going so well. You can see it's a yellow flag section there. So just to give you an update there, well done to Not Kimi 7. He in the Ferrari puts on a fantastic time of 137.038, followed by Liefenroyen, the 138.375. I said the 37 mark would be probably the time to beat this evening. So bearing in mind, obviously going in, formation lap in progress, which is going to happen in a couple of minutes, and then we're off for this Grand Prix this evening. And I can tell you now, it's going to be an absolute nail biters. Norraider in, sorry, and we'll be starting in round about 20 odd seconds from now. And then we'll be getting in. The guys are just getting themselves locked in and ready for racing this evening. So on with Not Kimi 7 right now, just having a look at where he's going to be as we go around the Singapore track. It's under the lights. It is our first race in under lights here this season, season 7, here at the Singapore Grand Prix. And I can tell you now, it is going to be an amazing event. 13 drivers available for this evening, so that's great news for us. And I tell you what, it is the best of the best in South Africa racing this evening. And wow, what a great race it's going to be. It looks as though we've actually had a driver disconnect, unfortunately. So that's not too good for us from that perspective. Obviously, things are happening. Yellow flag is out, so don't quite know why. But obviously you can see the drivers coming down to the main area. And there is the Anderson Bridge. Nice shot of that at the moment from the top view. And then getting themselves down into the final section. There's the 100-meter board across, and then flat out down here at the moment. You can see we're on with the pole position holder for this evening, which is Not Kimi 7. And there we go. Okay, it seems as though Carter Boy 55 has joined us again. So hopefully he's going to get a good start this evening. Off the starting line as they come in now. As you can see them lining up. The familiar signs of the Singapore airline showing in the background. And you can see them lining up right now for this race. There we go. Right, it looks as though they're going to be engaging. 5 lights are on. This Grand Prix is going to be away at the moment. And they are off and away at the moment. As you can see, one of the cars shifted to the side, unfortunately. But there it is, close racing by the Haas as well as the Ferrari. The Ferrari on the inside going through. Is he able to hold it? No, it looks as though the 2 drivers at the moment out of this race. And let's see what happens there on that incident. going across now, retiring from the session at the moment, is Kimmy. Not Kimmy 7, he's just retired. Unfortunately, the bit of an incident that took place there. Have to have a look at it. Carter Boy 55 is out in front, but I think that's because of the ghost, and he's going to be joining back hopefully. And then yeah, it looks as though we are on lap 1 of this race at the moment. A little bit of mayhem happening, and let's just go back as we see Carter Boy 45 and 55 out in front at the moment. Ranger on the top of his game this evening. The Ferrari of Raptor 13, he's out there. A little bit of a miscalculation on that particular corner there. You can see there Ronnie up into 4th position. F1 Ronnie there. No Raider, he's coming up in the Red Bull, and obviously looking to come through as quickly as he can at the moment. Raptor going back slightly there. Nesmax upper position in the race point, and obviously on board with him at the moment in 7th position. Interesting enough what's actually taking place there. There is the familiar colors of Springbok Gamer in the green and gold at the moment. Hugh Boucher right there as well. Obviously looking at some of the elements of the cars and what's actually taking place. Lots of people coming in and out, so obviously affecting what is going on. There is a car out in the yellow section there. It looks as though it's a Ferrari. Yes, it is. It's Raptor. He's skidding around as well. So Gav Pig goes up a position as well. And it looks as though we're going to see some action this evening. This is what happened now from that perspective. Obviously, not a happy drive at the moment when it comes to Wazzy. And obviously a big incident right in the beginning there. I think Lee lost it big time. He's 39 seconds behind, and we were watching that incident, so hopefully we get some video footage back on that. You can see down in 12th position now, it is obviously the Renault of Jose. So we'll be seeing what's going on with that Infinity engine, as well as what's happening there. Carter Boy, he's out in front at the moment. However, I think due to the conditions of the race at the moment, this is a bit of an interesting one, because he was pretty much off the line before everybody else due to a disconnect. So the marshals are going to be looking at that as well, because they didn't all start at the same time, and I know that obviously produces a lot of controversy, and you can see he's actually not even in the car, so we'll have a look and see what's going on there. There we go. Right now going through is more Raider. So a bit of an unfortunate system where the guys are actually out of the race. That is the Carter boys, both of them out of the race this evening. Their cars are ghosting, so let's not create too much confusion. But basically you've got a Ranger in there, Nor Rider, and then all of a sudden up on top there you've got F1 Ronnie, he's coming up there. Nesmax coming in as well, he's in the race point at the moment. So those are two human drivers at the moment. They're passing those cars which are driving under Ghost at the moment, which is the Carter boys, because they're out. So these guys are out. So in 7th position at the moment it is Springbok Gamer, but he's obviously going to move up 2 places, so he's going to be up into 5th position overall this evening. Hugh Boucher in at number 6 at the moment. Number 9 is Leaf and Roy, and he's just had a pit stop as well to do the repairs. And then obviously you've got the other Reynolds driver at the moment. He's coming in. It looks as though that Gav Pig did not finish this race. And unfortunately for him, he's out of this race this evening as well. So we've got 2 Ferraris out. We've got not Kimmy 7, he's out as well. And then we've got Ranger in as well as Null Raider. And then Nesmax in 3rd position. So just on board, let's go on board with Ranger at the moment. Lap number 4 of 31 laps at the moment. Really putting on. This gentleman here has got to find an opportunity to get by. And that's Null Raider. So David is going to be looking now to see whether he can come back in a big way. And remember, he didn't qualify because he was late into the gates. But he's definitely going to give Ranger a go for his money. And by the way, he's on the he's actually on the hard compounds. Ranger's just took off a part of his car, so I'm sure he's going to be going into the pits right now, which was predicted. And he's going through there. Nesmax goes into 2nd position now. Just pushing him a little bit there, coming through. Obviously the incident that happened between not Kimmy 7 was here. I'm just going to go back and have a look at that replay and see what caused that incident as well, and give you some feedback on this. So just give me a couple of minutes as we watch and stay on board with Ronnie on this particular track and see what's actually happening out in front. So 2 seconds ahead of the guys now is this gentleman here just before I go. And let's stay with the action here and see how far, but maybe just push back to Nesmax, because we can obviously see there now. And let's get in the car with him and see what he can do. Yeah, so sorry folks, just having a look at some of the feedback, just to give you an update of what's actually happening. You can see how close this racing is going between Nor Raider and Nesmax at the moment. It's like 300ths of a second between these drivers at the moment, so really exciting stuff. And let's have a look at how it all unfolds. What I'll do is just take an outer shot that you can see some of the action that's taking place between these drivers right now. And yeah, I hope you're watching and enjoying as much as I am at the moment. This exciting battle going on up front between these two great drivers. So yeah, playback still trying to happen here. Just having a look right now, you can see Springbok came up into third position, and then obviously Ronnie in fourth, Ranger in fifth, Lee van Rooyen in sixth position this evening, followed by obviously Jose, and then Carter Boy 8 and Boucher in ninth. And then you've just had a look now that E. Boucher coming up past the Carter Boys. Carter Boys got disconnected, black screen from what I heard, so they had a DC disconnect, and that's unfortunately for those guys at the moment. I think obviously running from the same house sometimes creates a bit of a problem for them, but yep, it is all down to this evening's racing between these two, that is Nor Raider and Nesmax. Obviously 11 seconds is Springbok Gamer behind, but we will not forget them in this action. Oh, a slight incident there happening. I think obviously under braking, you could see there that Nesmax right up the tail of Nor Raider at the moment, so that did make him pretty much out there, and obviously what was available this evening for him was obviously a hello, I'm behind you. So Springbok Gamer, as we go back down, just have a look where he is, and here is one of the McLarens. The Mercedes-Benz not too far behind in Ranger now, 16 seconds off the pace, and then back down to Lee van Rooyen. He's in sixth position, started on the grid in second position, and then obviously an incident in the beginning of the race caused a bit of havoc, and I'm just trying to review that footage as we speak. Hugh Boucher obviously there as well, he's also in the McLaren, he's in 8th position at the moment, and then here are the Carter Boys, but they are not actually there. They obviously had some internet problems, so not in this race at all. Nesmax dropping back now for some reason. He's down 6 seconds, so he's just had a big issue. I'm sure he's going to be trying to come back in a big way now after that incident. Sorry, we missed it. 10 laps of the 31 laps done now, and obviously interesting stuff all taking place. and going down. So Nesmax in the pits at the moment now, having a look at what repair work can be done. You can see them trying to get him out as quickly as possible. It looks as though he's gone for the harder compounds. I think obviously Norraider pretty smart there, making sure that he had the hard compounds on, and then obviously now switching it out, getting themselves around this track at the moment, obviously ensuring where they are. You can see he's coming around now to try and get himself around Norraider, because both of them came in at that point in time. It looks as though Norraider's gone for the mediums. It looks like the mediums, but let's have a check there, because I'm pretty interested to see if that actually all took place, and maybe details on change in position at the moment. Springbok Gamer went up 11 places now, 8 positions for Ronnie, obviously 8 positions for Norraider, and obviously Nesmax lost 2 positions. It looks as though we have Hugh Boucher, who went up 3 positions. Stops at the moment, 2 stops for Ranger, so obviously a bit of damage there. That's where he's put him there. There's the medium compounds, and what it is, yeah, definitely on Norraider at the moment, and Nesmax 7 is the mediums and the harder compound, as we can see. It looks as though as we move up the line, just to get across there, you can see we have a bit of a nose change for Springbok Gamer. Obviously you can see now F1 Ronnie just coming through now, and you'll see on the sort of the 50-meter board, he's gone down to second, really pushing it through now. This is a first gear situation normally, a quick switch down and then across here into third, fourth and fifth. So you can see there Nesmax moving up a position past Springbok Gamer, and he's obviously looking to make himself known, and you can see how he's pulling away from Springbok Gamer now at the moment, really putting on the throttle, and then obviously going to get himself warmed up to get past. Norraider also there looking to see where he is. He's got a heck of a long way to go, but remember the guys at the beginning here, obviously 10 laps in on the top part, him, Ronnie, they went for the harder compounds. You can see it was a strategic move. So they've still got to come in, to be honest, to change what they need to do in order to get themselves at the moment. That was the quickest lap time given there through that section, so that was definitely a quick time by Norraider. So let's have a look back, going back now on that one, which is Nesmax now in the race point team. He's coming through underneath the bridge here and then straight across to make himself known. So let's have a look at exactly what's going on there at this point in time. Good racing happening. Obviously, it helps to put on the mic as well. I've been commentating with the mic off. Apologies for that. Sorry about that. You've probably been wondering what's happened to me. But I'm just having a look now at what's taking place. And I was commenting quite nicely on who is where and what and doing how. And I can tell you now, Noor Raider coming up that position, looking to get past Leaf and Ryan at the moment. And I'm sure he's going to be catching up quite fast now. As I mentioned, just having a look at the tyre strategy that was given by these drivers, it was definitely F1 Ronnie as well as Leaf and Ryan who put on the harder compounds to drive through, and that's obviously been some success for them. But now we have the likes in the on the medium compounds of Noor Raider coming through. David looking to see where he can put himself against Leaf and Ryan at the moment to get himself past him. So it will be very, very interesting, because here we go. He's having a look, seeing if he's going to get past at this particular point in time from Leaf and Ryan, but obviously pushing it as much as he can in order to see, is there an opportunity. Let's go out. Oops, let's go back out on the track and see where he's positioning, because you can see right behind him there is Jose. Now he comes through on the inside. Definitely a great overtaking maneuver now, as that car from Red Bull goes through now and passes Leaf and Ryan. And now he's got it a bit sideways. Oh, he takes control, brings it back. The Haas is quick to pounce. Is he going to go into on the inside? He tries to get through him, and not possible by Leaf and Ryan at the moment, which gives Noor Raider that position to come through. 17 seconds behind the leader at the moment. So, yeah, lap number 14. F1 Ronnie definitely needs to have a look what he's going to be doing with that harder compound. He can go for a substantial time on the track, but there is going to be a time where he has to come in and change those tires. So that is the inevitable situation that's going to be faced by F1 Ronnie at the moment. Lap number 15, that means almost halfway of this race done at the moment. 3 drivers out. Gav Pig did not finish, as well as Raptor 13V, and then unfortunately retiring from the session was not Kimmy 7. I think obviously the incident on the first bend affected his mindset to race the complete race. I think there was quite a bit of damage to the car off the start, and I think obviously we'll be looking at the footage of what actually happened there, and then obviously dealing with that in the not so near distance or future. We'll be having a look at exactly what repercussions would have or which are going to be made once I receive the footage on that as well. Obviously the motto is fair racing and obviously fair conditions, and obviously that's very important in this particular racing league. It is the non-assist league. Somebody asked me, Jacques Nell, thank you very much for watching the stream at the moment and also for your comment. Yes, it is the no assist league, and obviously lots of people enjoying what's taking place in South Africa when it comes to the F1 leagues. There is a lot of activity happening around motorsport at the moment. Lots of people talking about what they're going to be doing when it comes to the online. Obviously the most publicized and the most effective game set that is available at the moment is the F1. There are obviously individuals looking to put into place some form of top South African leagues. For us here, when it comes to the console platform, hopefully we'd like to think the best of the best are here with us. And as you can see, some of the racing that's going on is extremely exciting and well worth watching. So if you are joining the channel for the very first time here on the South African Academy Online Racing, welcome. Hit that like button as well as subscribe and set that notification on, so whenever we race you'll be notified of exactly what's going on. If you are interested in joining the league, that's also possible. And as I mentioned, obviously big things coming in the near future. We're hoping that there will be a cross-platform game in the future for both the F1 games, for PC as well as Xbox, and as well as PlayStation 4. Definitely we're hoping on the cross-platform for PlayStation 5, but that's still a little way off and coming in November of 2020. So the good thing is you'll be able to race still with your PlayStation 4, so it's going to be backward compatible, and that's also good news for the guys in the gaming community as well, especially with the amount of money that is spent on games at the moment. It's always nice to have that backward compatibility. So just to let you know, where are we, who's going where and what, doing where, you can see right now, obviously Nor Raider, he's now caught up from 17 seconds up to 3.8 seconds. So definitely breathing down. F1 Ronnie's neck at the moment is Nor Raider. Nesmax is down into 5th place, so obviously something went awry there, because he was definitely up on getting himself into a position. You can see obviously the drive-throughs on those ghosting cars, which means that those players have already exited the game. From what I hear, they've had some technical problems, that's why they're out. The game actually blacked out on them, blue flagging obviously coming through at the moment. And as you can see, there is Jose in the Renault at the moment, with the Nesmax coming up quite fast on him at the moment. He's got the harder compound, but Nesmax coming through as well. He's got fresher harder compound on his car at the moment, so that will definitely give him a slight edge over the drivers in front of him at the moment. F1 Ronnie, 16 laps done, and maybe what we should do, which I should have actually put into play, is maybe just put on exactly what that is, so we do have the times coming up on the side there. You can see obviously Ronnie now, should I say, sorry, Leaf and Royan into the pits at the moment, which is given now the opportunity for Springbok Gamer to come past, Nesmax to come past, as well as Jose. Now we go down, because this gentleman has gone through, and wow, what a drive, really just pushing it around there on the edge there. He seems to be just getting past. As I said, it was 4 seconds before we knew it, and there he goes, Nor Raider, looking to get past everybody at the moment and more. Great driving still happening here on the South African Academy Online Racing. I tell you what, 18 laps of this 31 lap race all going down this evening, and I can tell you now, this race is not over yet. I can see that there is still going to be some really hard contested racing for position number 2 and 3 for the podium this evening, and really some great driving by the boys when it comes to the F1 channel this evening. So you can see Ronnie's in. I knew those tires weren't going to last. I'm surprised that this gentleman is still out there. He's on lap number 17, so definitely wanting to get himself as far in front as possible in order to make sure that he still comes out in that third position, because obviously F1 Ronnie's gone in now, but he's already out. So as long as he doesn't have any incidences, it's definitely going to have that opportunity to get past. Looks as though it was going to be Nesmax trying to get past Jose at the moment, but then holds back. He's looking for that opportunity. I think just switching back now to Nesmax just to see where he's going to be. And you can see obviously looking to pounce on Jose at the moment, who's just in front of him, to see where he can get by. And there you go. Obviously a little bit shaky. Smooth running as they come down and through into this section where it is going to be quite tight around this corner, going out as fast as they can and over this section as they come through now, and really coming back down underneath the bridge here. And let's see how that all goes about. Can they get themselves into that position where Nesmax now can try and get past, or does he go into the pits? Yes, he's going into the pits, which means Nesmax is now coming through to second position, and that would be a podium. Now it's all interesting, because is this man going to be in the pits before this gentleman? Yes, he goes past. So Springbok Gamer now comes past. He's got 8 laps on the hards at the moment, obviously looking to see where he is. This gentleman is going to come on through as well now, which means that Jose now drops back to 6th position now, and he's got some work to get himself, as well as Ranger up into 5th now. Leaf and Roy, and let's see where he is. He's basically a very long way back at a 1 minute 17 seconds. Does he get around this track fast enough, or is this going to mean that Jose is already out on the track racing now? So definitely an interesting situation. It looks as though that Nesmax is round about 20 seconds behind our leader this evening, which is unbelievable. So once again, Nor Raider making sure that he is known for his speed, and we've got 11 laps of racing left here on the South African Academy Online Racing, so that's going to be really great to watch. And just going back into 3rd, there's Ronnie right behind Springbok Gamer at the moment, and you can see some of the action taking place on the mini screen. They're sort of a thumbprint away from one another. So let's have a look what's going down. So 22 laps done here this evening. Really great racing, what we've been watching this evening. Obviously lots of drama that we've had so far. Unfortunately, 3 drivers out this evening of the 13 drivers racing. And I can tell you now, Nesmax now taking the lead when it comes down to it all. What a great drive from him. Nor Raider unfortunately dropped back for some reason. And he was absolutely on top of his game. But obviously an incident happened. Sorry, we missed out on that. Lap number 23. I'm gasping for air at the moment just to see where we are. But really nice drive now from Springbok Gamer has actually come on. And he's 11 seconds behind. Obviously, Nor Raider putting on a new set of tires at the moment. Is this meaning that Nesmax... Oh, looks as though Springbok Gamer hit the wall. Front of the car demolished at the moment. He's going to go back limping to the pits at the moment. Car under yellow. Look, it could be the safety car coming out. Let's have a look what's going to happen now because everybody's slowing down. Unfortunately, what an incident that was. And as I was going into that, it just went all haywire for Springbok Gamer. So he's going to be chucking himself into the pits there. Limping around. You can see the front of their car heavily damaged now. And obviously coming around to put himself into the pits. You can see how severely damaged that car is. Thank goodness he's holding it all together and putting himself into that situation. It looks like it's green racing, so they've cleared the debris, should I say. He's going to come back in now. He's going to go into the pits and have some work done on that car. Has that affected any of the positions here? 11 seconds coming up. You can see Nesmax right in front there. Nor Raider took that pit stop at the moment. It looks as though Ranger's gone up as well as Jose. Unfortunately, that nose cone being replaced now in the pits. And let's see what happens when it comes to the drivers going out there and getting themselves into position. So lap number 25 of this Grand Prix here in Singapore done. 31 laps to go. It is 50%, and obviously just having a look at this evening's racing, I tell you what, we've had drama galore. Lots of individuals really battling it out, getting themselves into position, and then obviously taking its toll on their racing this evening. So lots of guys looking for that opportunity to get themselves into a position to win this race. And I can tell you, Nesmax now leading this Grand Prix 3 seconds, and maybe what we need to do is get back up there and see, because these two have had a lengthy battle for this evening's racing. And I tell you what, why not? Let's just put ourselves back on behind. As we can see at the moment, it looks as though Carter Boy driven through. Definitely there. The blue flag is for Carter Boy, but you can see how that racing is taking place at the moment between Nesmax and More Raider 2909. So these gentlemen having it out thick and fast when it comes to racing this evening. Obviously lots of time spent to make sure they get themselves into that position, and then obviously looking to race away this evening and make sure they get themselves into that area and put themselves in a position to win the Malaysian Grand Prix this evening when it comes to the South African Academy. Season 7 is the current season. Just give us a point of view, write a comment, let us know exactly where you're from, what's going on. If you're new to the channel, thank you very much. It is the South African Academy Online Racing channel, and specifically for drivers that are based in South Africa. So we've got a number of expats, by the way. When I say expats, guys that are actually outside of the country is what I mean, who are taking part in this league. They are South Africans working abroad, and obviously we wish they were home, but circumstances don't always afford that opportunity. The guys thoroughly enjoying the racing and obviously join in. We obviously like the internet speeds to be fast, and it's great to see that in South Africa now moving to fiber has given so much more opportunity for the guys to actually race competitively online. Just remember, shout out for SAAOLR, the guys at TMB, as well as Midweek Racing. These guys making a valiant effort to promote online racing in South Africa. So yeah, if you're looking for to get in touch with those guys, they're doing project cars as well as the assist racing. That's with Midweek, and then also not to forget TMB, Turbo and Bullets. That's being run now by a gentleman called Captain Ice, and if you're looking to get that also done, as well as a gentleman by Not Fernando, we can get you in touch with those gentlemen, and that's for the Midweek Racing side. So lots of promotions going out this evening for those guys, and why not? They deserve a shout out because they really spend a lot of time getting efforts made to promote online racing in South Africa. So Norraider 5 laps in on those mediums. Nesmax just battling out a little bit, 17 laps done. He is definitely losing time when it comes to Norraider at the moment. Strategy on hand is, does he go in and change those tires? Springbok Gamer dropped back after a violent incident with a wall there. He's gone back into a 5th position, and you can see already the guys down in certain numbers trying. As I mentioned, it's a 9.5 on the technical side. This track, street tracks are always technically difficult because of the narrow ways, very difficult for overtaking as well. So yeah, very competitive, and obviously you've got to be in the right place and right space to definitely put on those quick times when it comes to this format of racing. As you can see now, Nor Raider in 6th gear down into 5th, pushing it hard, and then 6th gear again, obviously to get himself as quickly as possible. That's a 142 that he did there, just that you understand the sort of times that he is doing at the moment. You can see battling it through the first sector as well. Let's see what his time space is, and is he going quicker? Definitely the car getting a lot lighter at this point in time, but obviously 16 seconds behind him now is Nesmax 7. So he's done 18 laps on these tires. F1 Ronnie has done 10 laps on his. Ranger 18 laps on those hard compound tires. Springbok Gamer now 4 laps, driving himself to see if he can get himself on the podium this evening, and is there a distinct possibility that he can do so? Looking at the tire selection from him this evening, going for the softer compound, and that's right towards the end of the race as well. So let's have a look if he can do something. Now is the opportunity to spring up. 16 seconds is a heck of a long way. Can he get himself into an area where he's coming up behind Ranger at the moment? And here's Ranger, and Springbok Gamers here. So you can see the distance on the mini map at the moment is quite a lot further than you would expect. So yeah, that's an interesting one. As we put that down, you can see where he is versus his nearest rival, which is Ranger at the moment. Obviously, when it comes to Jose, who we're on board with now, he's in the Renault, and obviously looking to see where they can get themselves at the moment. Obviously, Infinity, a part of the house brand for a Renault Motorsport, and lots of people ask, you know, who owns who at the moment, and this French company obviously owning the Nissan brand as well as the Infinite brand, and then obviously showing their strength when it comes to F1 engines, when it comes to obviously their cars. Just going up now, Ranger there, F1 Ronnie in the McLaren tightly behind now. This is going to be an interesting little mindset going here, because definitely you can see that Nesmax has done 20 laps on these hard compound tires. Ronnie definitely having the advantage where his mediums have only done 11 laps. Is it that skilled driving now that's going to take place and get them into a position? Obviously, if we come through now, we're going to take the last lap with this driver, which is Nor Raider at the moment. Here is the final lap of the Malaysian Grand Prix this evening. As you can see, driving very, very hard was Nor Raider this evening. Really putting on some incredible lap times and getting himself into a position where he could come in and obviously work very, very hard to get himself right to the top of the log, as well as take this championship this evening. So great racing from him, and lots of events taking place, driving his way to victory this evening. Obviously did not qualify, but came back in a big, big way to establish himself as the driver. I don't want to jinx him at the moment because he's on the last lap, and definitely all he has to do is just wheel his way through to the final couple of corners, and he will be crowned the Malaysian Grand Prix for season 7 here on the South African Academy Online Racing. So extremely well done to him, and I can tell you now, I'm sure he's very proud to put himself in first position. Was not able to qualify, and then came back in from last on the grid right through until the #1 position. And here we go, fireworks galore. Well done to this gentleman. He's absolutely done a stunning drive. You can see how close these two are facing off one another. Right to the very end now is Ronnie as well as Nesmax, and I can tell you now it is all done and dusted for Leeuwenhoek. He's not going to get around in time to finish off this Grand Prix. And there it is. You can see the lights going off as they coming through here and finish off this evening. You can see there, Ronnie goes up into second position. So he takes now second position overall, and that's quite an interesting one. According to what I'm seeing on the screen right now, Nesmax ends up in third position. Springbok Gamer, Raider in fourth, Springbok Gamer in fifth, sixth is Jose, seventh is Leeuwenhoek. 4 laps on the Super is Hugh Boucher. So Boucher going to come through. But just going up to him now, he's coming through the final sectors. He's going to end up, and I'm just going to say he's going to end up in 8th position, but he will be pumped up 2 positions to 6th overall. So there we go, looking at David there, Raider, he's going up into 1st position on what he's done this evening. Yes, he did race the Red Bull this evening, but he's definitely out there. A McLaren driver for the first time of this season, I think, who's actually been on the podium, and well done to him as well. Nesmax in the race point gear there, well done. So guys, thank you for watching. Hopefully it's been a good one for you to watch this evening. It's been a pleasure bringing you all the action here on the South African Academy Online Racing. Thank you so much for joining us. Hopefully it's been a good one for you to watch this evening. I'm all glad and so sad to leave you, but let me tell you, let's have a look next week at who's going to take on 3 races left, should I say, for the season's events. We thank you for watching, and we hope to see you next time here on the South African Academy Online Racing Esports Series, and it is Series 7. Cheers for now. See you later.